My love, it's Jackie and Jackie's Cooking, and today, honeys, I'm going to do a revamp, a remake of an old video I did on how to make empanadas. You know, when you're first starting out, well, my video wasn't too clear and I felt the quality wasn't the best. So I'm doing a revamp of this, and I want to show you how to do empanadas and the filling for this delicious treat. My love, if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, please go ahead and do so. And don't forget to press that notification bell so you can get weekly updates on all of my delicious recipes. Don't forget to like, don't forget to share, let everybody know. Jackie's Cooking. So my love, these are our ingredients to make the empanada dough. We have some flour. We have sugar, baking powder, and salt. We have an egg, which we're gonna beat. We have some butter and some ice cold water. So everything should be cold, my loves. All right, as you can see, it's simple ingredients. Let's get to it. All right, huns, so we are going to take all of our dry ingredients and we're going to mix it together. All our flour, salt, baking powder, and sugar, we're going to mix all that together. And the ingredients is listed in the description box below. Okay. So I'm going to use my hands. Make sure your hands are clean. If you have nails, make sure your nails are clean. Go up under them nails before you do this. So we're going to add our butter to the dry ingredients. And I wanted to use my hands because I want you to get a feel for this dough. It's very simple, so you can know exactly what to look for. So we're going to use our hands and squeeze the butter and the flour together in between our fingers, okay? Until we get what's looking like crumbs, okay? I wanted to do a revamp because, when you're first starting out, I guess my YouTube quality wasn't all great. So I said, you know what, why don't I just do another revamp of this, a remake, show everybody how simple it is to make empanada dough, especially for those special occasions, if you're having parties, or you just want to have it for yourself. These make great potlucks, and it'll save you money instead of running to a store and get those empanada discs. You can make your own and get way more for your money. Okay, so we're going to take our egg, we're going to beat our egg. The egg is going to help it be nice and tender. Going to give us a nice tender dough. The thing is with this dough too, you don't want to overwork it. Okay, you're going to do a little bit of kneading, but nothing where it's going to be overboard, okay? So we're going to add our egg, and we are going to add our water, but we're going to add our water a little bit at a time. Make sure you do it well in the center before you add your egg and your water. But as you can see, the egg didn't go exactly in the well, so. All right, so we're going to add a little bit of water at a time, and you're going to use your hands. Okay, so you're looking for a dough that's well manageable. You're not looking for something that's too sticky, but you're not looking for something that's too dry. Okay? And the amount of water the precise amount that I'm listing in the description box below is the exact amount of water that you'll need. But keep in mind, sometimes, and the reason why I'm going slow with the water, sometimes depending on how much humidity is in the air, you may not need that much water. Some days you may need more water, and it depends on what altitude you're in, how high of an altitude you're in. So keep that in mind. So even though I'm giving you the exact measurement of water that you're going to need, take your time adding the water. And of course, my loves, this is a 2-part in 1 video. I am going to do a beef filling in this video as well. But what I'm doing is I'm doing them separately. So for those out there, won't be confused with all the amount of ingredients at once. I'm just doing it separately. And then we're going to bring everything together. Okay, so now we're going to turn our dough onto a floured surface. As you can see, I'm using a soap pad, and this is a non-stick form of plastic-like thing that you could use. It prevents cookies from sticking, any kind of pastries from sticking, so I'm using this. But eventually I'm going to put a little bit of flour. You don't want too much flour, but just a little bit of flour just to keep it from sticking, okay? But don't overdo it on the flour. And with this, my loves, we are going to knead this for about 2 minutes. 2 minutes or so. We're not going to overdo it. Okay, now we're going to cover that. We're going to let this rest for at least a half an hour to an hour. Okay, and while we're doing that, that's going to allow the dough to rest. Okay, now we are going to work on our beef filling. Okay, so we have some ground beef. Actually, as you can see, I'm using some hamburger patties that I just cut up. Hey, same thing. We got onions and sweet peppers. We got some red pepper flakes, a little bit of accents. We have some paprika. I have some Creole seasoning. Some tomato paste. Some black pepper. We have oregano and basil. And we have some oil. Okay, and our green seasoning. You know I use that stuff. So we're going to take a nice hot pot, put some oil in it, and we are going to saute our onions and sweet peppers. Okay. If you don't want to use beef, you could use ground chicken or shredded chicken, and work it like that with the same measurements for this recipe. Okay, so we're going to saute that in the oil on medium high heat until things start getting a little translucent. The onions start getting translucent and the vegetables start softening. Okay, so we're speeding things up here. Okay, so I'm going to add my green seasoning. I love my green seasoning. Come on, it just has that It's the main base for our dish, you know. It has everything in it. I do have a video for that on how to make some beautiful, delicious green seasoning. Okay, so we're going to saute that in there. Okay, so you know, of course, you know, when you're sauteing this, you know, this just helps bring up flavors and intensify the flavors of everything. Okay, so now we are going to add our ground beef. Okay, this is some hamburger patties I had. Listen, it's the same thing. I took it out and we're going to use it as the filling. Okay, if you don't want to use ground beef, you can use ground turkey. You could use chicken, ground chicken, or you could shred the chicken however you want to do it. Okay, now we're going to start adding our ingredients. We have some black pepper. Okay, I'm adding my basil, ground basil. Okay, some accents. I love accent because it really does wake up the flavor, and it's less sodium, 60% less sodium, so that's a good thing. Okay, I'm adding some paprika. And loves, keep in mind, you see all that oil? That was not from the oil that I added. I just added a little bit of oil in the beginning just to jumpstart for the onions to saute. But all that fat that you see is coming out from the burgers. So we're going to drain a lot of that out, okay? Okay, I'm adding my Creole seasoning. Okay, now I'm adding some oregano. Okay, and we're just browning the meat. That's the goal right now, to brown the meat. Now you see all that fat? We don't want all that in there. So I'm definitely taking a lot, well, 90-something% of that fat out, okay? So I'm just using a spoon so I can get that fat out. We do not want that. That's too much. Too much is going on. All right, so now I'm going to add a little, some red pepper flakes. This is, you know, you could add as much pepper flakes as you want. I like a little bite in my food, okay? Okay, and as you can see, we got rid of a lot of that fat, and now we can really do some nice browning now. all that fat was just out of control. And it's like it's boiling. It's like we're boiling the meat in the fat. That was not the move. Okay, so now we're going to add some tomato paste. The tomato paste, I like adding it because not only does it add flavor, but it kind of helps bind the meat in a way when you're adding it to the filling. And it gives it a nice flavor, okay, and moisture as well. Because I don't know if you've ever noticed, if you've ever had something with beef filling, and if the beef filling is just like that, it's going to be kind of dry-like, so we're not looking for that. And now, as you can see, I'm adding a little bit of water just for moisture. So the tomato paste and a little bit of that water is going to create like a moisture. It's not going to be like a sauce, but it's just going to add, we're adding that little bit of water to create that moisture as well, along with the tomato paste that's going to thicken it as well. So we're going to keep the meat nice and moist and add nice bright flavor and color. Okay, so now we're going to add our meat. This is a quick tip. If you want to cool your meat down really quick, transfer it from the pot, put it on a plate, lay it out flatly on the plate. Do not pat the meat down. This will help cool your meat quicker. And every 2 minutes, just keep stirring the meat on the plate so you can release that heat. Okay, and then after that, when it gets a little cooler, you can pop it in the freezer or fridge for a little quick while, like 5 minutes, and then you can put the filling into your pastry, okay? Because you don't want to put hot meat into your pastry, okay? So this is our pastry dough. It's nice and soft. It had time to rest, okay? So now what we're going to do, I'm going to cut it in half because it will be easier for me to work with. Okay, so now we're going to roll out our dough. I'm going to try to roll it as thin as possible. But when I do, you could use, now you can make these as big or as small as you want. These are great as appetizers. You can make them a bigger size if you like. You could use the rim of if you want to make them cocktail size, you could use the head of a cup or a glass. Okay, you could use a plate. If you have a cutter, you could use that. Depends on how big you want it, okay? And all you need to do, guys, is lightly flour your surface and lightly flour your rolling pin. And mind you, back in the days, especially if you're a person from the Caribbean or other countries that make stuff like this, I don't think a lot of them had rolling pins. So they would use like glasses or a bottle to roll things out. That's what they did back in the days. Okay, so as you can see, I'm cutting out my circles. I'm using a saucer, okay? And I'm going to use a knife and cut along the edge of the saucer for my empanada. Okay? Okay, we're going to cut out some more circles with this. okay? And once we get our circles cut, I'm gonna just stretch them out a little bit. I'm gonna roll them out a little bit more because I want this nice and thin, not paper thin, but thin enough because when I fry them, keep them on, they are gonna puff a little bit, and I don't want a bready texture. You see what I'm saying? I don't want anything with like a thick bready texture. So I want to roll them out enough. I would say like 1/8 of an inch thick, you know. You see? Like that. Okay? And any scraps you may have, just roll your scraps. Okay? And roll it out and cut your circles out. Okay, and you could prepare this dough, do it like this, get some wax paper or some parchment papers, and you can make your own disc. If you have like a party that's coming up, you can make this in advance, cut them out, get some wax paper or parchment paper, and lay the wax paper in between the dough. Pop it in the freezer. When you're ready to use it, take it out. All right, so now we're gonna start adding the filling, and I'm gonna show you 2 ways of how to seal this pastry. Okay, one is the crimping and the other one is the twisted braid that you usually see, which I think is so attractive. So I'm gonna show you how to do that too, okay? And my loves, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please go ahead and do so. And don't forget to press that notification bell. We're adding some water now to the tip, to the end. Okay, we're gonna seal this. Press that notification bell so you can get weekly updates on all of my recipes. Don't forget to like and share. Let everybody know that Jackie's cooking. Okay? So now we're just sealing as we put some water on the test, and we're going to use the tip of a fork. And that is going to be the sealant. Okay? That's how we're sealing in our filling in the dough. We're sealing it in. So remember, take a little bit of water, run it around the edge, and then you're going to close it and press it down. Then you're going to seal it just like this. Boom. Set that to the side and work on your other one. Okay? Now I'm going to show you how to do the twisted twist as a seal, which I think makes it look like a cute little purse. It's so cute. So I'm doing this with my nails, so mind you, but I think I did it pretty good with my nails, but okay, so we're gonna put our meat filling in the lower part of where we're going to fold our pastry over the filling. We're going to run some water along the edges. We're going to fold our dough over our filling. And make sure that when you're putting in your filling, my loves, do not put the filling all the way on the edge. Leave some space on the edge so you could seal the filling in the dough. Okay? And when we're doing the twist braid on top, it's like an overlapping motion. You'll get it, okay? So now we got that. Oh, that's another crimping I'm doing. This is another crimping technique. I thought it was like the twisted braid I was doing, but that's coming up. Okay. All right, so you're going to take your pastry, and it's very easy. As you can see, I'm just taking the, starting by the end, I'm folding like that, and then I'm going to take the other part and I'm going to overlap it. It's like an overlapping. Please excuse my nails because, you know, it's a little in the way, but you see how we're doing it? We're just overlapping. And it just looks so cute. And we just overlap, and this is our twist braid. So we're gonna heat up our pan with some nice oil. We don't want the thing extremely scorching hot, but like on a medium-high heat, okay? And these are gonna start to float, okay? They are gonna start to float. They won't take long to cook because the dough is thin, okay? But what you're gonna notice is it's gonna start to float, and you're gonna take these out until it's a nice, light, or whatever golden brown color, okay? I like it like a nice golden color. And when you do flip it over, you're gonna see the bubble effect, especially when you're making the empanadas or pastelitos, and you'll see that bubble effect. Those are layers as well, because the air bubbles from the oil is creating the bubbles. It's creating, those are layers, those flaky layers as well. As you can see, you see that? And like I said, you can make anything with these. You can make these vegetarian. You could put cheese inside of them. I did make some with cheese before for my husband. He loves those. And he could eat the whole thing. I've seen him do it. Okay, so we're gonna get into a nice golden brown, as you can see. And you could put it on some paper towels to drain the oil. Okay, you could lay out some newspaper or brown paper bag or some paper towels, put them on this. It could drain any excess oil. Okay, and I'm going to finish frying the rest of these up, and we'll be back. And these are our beautiful empanadas. Look at that. As you can see, look at the one I did with the twisted braid. I made some smaller ones too, so you can see that, you know, you could make some smaller versions of this too. They're great for parties when you make them small like that. They're flaky. They're beautiful. They're inexpensive to make. So these would be great at a potluck, okay? You could even make the dough and fill them and pop them in the freezer in between some wax or parchment paper. And the day you're getting ready to fry them, take them out, let them thaw, and fry them. And that saves you the headache of having to do everything all in one day. And it is so, so good. The dough is flaky. Look at that. My loves, enjoy life, enjoy food, celebrate this, share this with your friends and family. Enjoy.